Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Tracy and today I'm starting a new journal. It's one that I've made myself. When I create journals for my Etsy store, I try and make an extra one if I can. And this will be a tester that I can experiment with and just use myself. I recently found a sewing book from the 1910s and it is filled with lovely vintage ads and images. I picked a few interesting parts of the book and made it printable. I'm just going through the pages to see what I would like to use. I'm looking for something to add to the small pocket on the inside of the cover. I finally picked an ad that's selling a variety of materials from cottons, silks, linen, threads, and wool. Growing up, I didn't really have an interest in history, but when I started journaling, and I suppose as I got older, I became more sentimental and curious about the past. There is a nostalgic feeling when you stand at a historical site or hold a vintage item, and that's why I love to add a bit of history into my journal. I printed all the pages on normal copy paper, so to make it look more authentic, I have distressed the edges. I'm stamping out a volume number for this journal, and I tend to do this on the front cover, but today I felt that it wouldn't work there, so instead I'm going to stick it on the inside of the cover. I'm using a stamp set by Papercraft, and although I considered using brown ink, I decided to go with black since all the print on this page is already in that color. To give it a vintage feel, I'm tearing the paper and I will then distress the edges. I'm going to add some brown paper too, just to make it stand out more. I am planning to create a collage on the music paper, and I find picking out a few items before starting the process makes it less overwhelming. So I've chosen some fabric from my scrap pile, a white lace with a flower print on, 3 cute buttons in earthly tones, some ephemera pieces from a Tim Holtz Ideology pack, a used postage stamp, brown paper, an image of mushrooms, and last but not least, a flower card. I am starting off by layering up some of the fabric and lace, trying to see what I like. The white and cream color of the textiles gives everything a soft look, which I quite like, and it ties in with the printable that I printed on white paper. Going on to the ephemera, I find two methods that personally work for me. The first is placing the larger images first and then finding spots for the smaller ones. The second is working from the bottom to the top and of course making some final adjustments once you have the basic layout. Something is still missing in the top corner and I think it's the perfect spot for some text. I of course use some brown paper to stamp out the word moment. There is only one thing left to do now, and that is to start gluing things down. I'm adding some thread through the buttons, but they are so tiny that a needle won't fit through, so I'm just threading it by hand and tying it off at the back. I'm going to trim off some of the thread, but still leaving a fair bit behind to hang out under the button. I think it gives it an interesting look. At the end of the video, I will add close-up shots to give you a better look. After sticking everything down, I left my journal open for it all to dry, had some lunch, and then I was in the mood to do some more. I have pulled out a brown paper pocket to hold some packaging from skincare and soap that I bought. I'm going to add a label to the pocket where I can journal on later. I got this specific set from IKEA. If you would like to know how I made these pockets, I have a tutorial on my channel. I also have them in my store. I've used original vintage images on each of the pockets with some music paper and a Tim Holtz word or phrase. They come in a pack of 5. I will leave links to the video and listing below. I am sorry for the drastic change in light. It's winter here where I live and the sun is very unpredictable. This time of the year, there's seldom a day with perfect light. I will have to start looking at getting some studio lights. I am using some collage paper from Tim Holtz. It's called Typography. I chose to stick it down with a glue stick. You can also use gel medium or Mod Podge. I was just too lazy to get mine out. I have colourful cellophane here, which doesn't really fit in with the aesthetic of this page, but I really want to include it, so we will just make it work. My husband gave me flowers and it was wrapped in this. I have just cut a small piece off to make it fit in my journal and in general for it to just work on this page. My plan is to add some dried flowers and stickers to the cellophane. I'm going to add just a few dots of glue to keep it all in place. I will then put it through the laminator and sew a messy border around the edge. I think I've made the cellophane work with everything, especially by adding the sewing and word stickers. It gives it more of that vintage feel. I'm tipping it in with washi. Again, I'm trying to stick with a vintage theme by using this beautiful ticket washi. It is time to add another label. I'm going to stamp the date on it, but as I stick it, I realized that there's a large button on the other page. So I'm first going to do my stamping before sticking it down again. I hope you have enjoyed seeing me work on the first few pages of my new journal. Thank you for watching and I hope to see you soon. Bye.